So this is basically a mule that's, I would say, at level 0. You know, you can't walk up to her. She's gonna run if you get close to her, and this is gonna be the very first stage of getting this mule to allow us to come near her, to build trust, and to just be cool, instead of like roping her or so. Now see how skittish she is. I just took a step back. Now when she faces me, I'm gonna go ahead and take another step back and give her some space, because I want that reward to be me giving her space is gonna make her feel more comfortable. So she's scared to even take her eye off of me to scratch whatever she's got going on there. So now we get a little lick and a chew. So this is how far I am back from her. You know, a couple panel lengths, 12 feet. And we're just gonna play this little dance for a while. And instead of forcing her in the alleyway, and I'll probably get her in the alleyway and close the distance so that she'll know that just because I'm getting closer doesn't mean there's more danger. And eventually try to get her to take a treat here. I had a bucket earlier. I was trying to get her to eat out of the bucket. She didn't want to do that, so I set the bucket down in front of her, and she did eat some, but she was reluctant. She put her nose down in it and hurry up and get a bite and then look at me again. See, she's got a fly or something going on back there, and she's afraid to take her eye off of me to get it. And let's watch her nose. See how one side is a little bit higher than the other one. That her left side is raised up higher. And I've heard some pretty what you would think would be well-versed horse people on YouTube talking about horses that have a nostril higher than the other being nerve damage. And well, he's not exactly wrong. It's nerves, but it's not damage. It's not irreversible damage. As you can see now, her right nostril is a tiny bit higher than the other one, and may not be able to tell that on video, but so yeah, you can tell now. So this is part of being in the alert nervous system, and this is not the nervous system we want to work her in. So we just want to hang out with her until she's comfortable with us being around. Just like if another horse was out here, they would just walk around together. If she took off, he would take off pretty much, and not chase her, but like run with her, you know. And I'm not going to be running around in this pen, but just because she already has an idea that I'm not, she doesn't trust me, and you know, she didn't come from a place that had any problems with, you know, mistreatment or anything like that, or not knowing how to handle horses or mules. Just a lack of handling. And she's probably 4 or 5 year old. I'm not sure. That we got some other brothers and sisters over there, actually just brothers. She's got 3 brothers here also, that full brothers. 3 full brothers she has here that are they're all 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they're one after the other, and she's somewhere in the middle. But I know she's not the youngest one, because there's a John over there that's got a lot younger looking head, and I haven't mouthed them yet, aged them. So, but this is just gonna be, I see that little gesture there, and I'm just trying to, and now her nose is back to being crooked. So actually I'm gonna back off a step or two and go ahead and try to get her to relax and lick and chew. And I'm just gonna come over here by this fence and lean on the fence, and now she's looking back and doing some different things. I may even back off even further to where it just makes her relax, because there's a state of mind that they get in that they have 2 nervous systems, just like us, a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. and I can't remember which one is labeled which, but one is rest and digest and one is alert, aware. It's where fight or flight comes from, or freeze, right? So fight, flight, or freeze in the aware and alert stage. And she's definitely in aware and alert stage. And now if I add anything to her, any pressure to her, it's going to cause motion, right? If she's already calmed down, then it's not going to be an issue. If she's in the rest and digest, you can do one thing. You can get away with one thing, but that's going to send her into alert mode. And then the second thing is going to send her into probably a blow, movement. So I'm going to back off a little more because I can see what I'm trying to do also is relay to her that I can see her discomfort, that she can tell me that she's not comfortable, and that I will respect that. And that's going to mean a lot to her as far as communication and comfort. If you tell somebody, I'm not comfortable with you this close, and they just keep standing that close, then that doesn't do anything for the relationship. But if you can, especially if you don't have to tell them, if you can hint to them or even tell them or relay to them somehow. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and back off a little bit. If you can relay to them somehow that you are aware of their discomfort and you're willing to respect their space and that you're not trying to make them uncomfortable, that does a world. Imagine how much softening that would do for the relationship. It's like, oh, this person respects my space. I can communicate. They understand my emotions. They understand that I can get tense or anxious. And not only do they realize it and recognize it, they respect it and respect my space, and they're willing they're willing to take action to make me feel more comfortable. So you get all that in just a little interaction, and this is what horses and mules do for each other all the time, and people do for each other all the time also. If you can tell if you're talking about something or behaving a certain way. If it starts making somebody feel uncomfortable, you quit, then you know that's going to help you build rapport or build a relationship with that person. If you're making that person uncomfortable and you can tell and you don't quit, you know what that does to the relationship also. So look at that nostril. Oh yeah, so it's really pulled back on that side, on that left side. Okay, so see, she tried to get over there and get a fly, and she's just afraid to. So I'm backing way off here. I'm all the way back in this corner of this little catch pen, and that made her comfortable enough to just for a moment, she didn't want to take her eyes off of me. And look at that nose. It's very crooked. Very twisted up. So that is her nerves, but it's not from damage. I've heard people say that it's from like a halter or a bit or something that they've got damaged. Don't buy that horse. And you know, it's not, it's psychological, not physiological. So it's mental. And you know, I seem to be making backwards progress here, but I guarantee it's making a difference in the way she thinks of me giving her space. She'll grow to be more comfortable with me because I haven't pushed myself on her. There we go. We got some shaking going on. She's trying to relieve. She's trying to come down off of that alert stage. We don't want it to spend a long time in that stage because it's trained through time of how many minutes it takes with their biological clock to get back into rest and digest mode. But you see that nostril, how kicked over it is? But this is just very first stage 0, you know, where you can't get your hands on a mule or a horse and you're just gonna build in trust. You know, see how she wanted to get that fly or whatever, but she just couldn't make herself take her eyes off me long enough to. This is also building attention, which is great because I'm gonna definitely want her to pay attention to me eventually, or always. I want her attention. You know, I don't want her sticking her head over the gate, looking at other things, trying to push on round pin panels with her attention elsewhere. And I'd rather her be facing up like this, so it's not necessarily a bad thing, even though I can't get close to her. And so her just shifting her weight, moving around, stuff like that, slowly switching her tail. All of these are signs you need to be looking for of, is your, you know, it's like the flow chart. Check out Warwick Schiller. He's a horse guru. He's the Leonardo of the horse world, Da Vinci, or the Jordan Peterson of the horse world, I say. So, but he's got a flow chart that's really interesting. That is your horse aware of you? Is your horse, yes or no? And then you flow to the next thing. So is your horse aware of you in a good way? Yes or no? So we've got yes. Is your mule aware of you? Yes. So she's not keeping her attention off of me. But is it in a good way? No. So now the next step is building connection. You know, you're going to be matching steps. You're going to be just responding to her emotionally, and just follow the flow chart from there. So anyway, this takes quite a long time. You know, it's no big deal to get in here for 45 minutes with a mule and have what would seem like very little progress. But you got to think of it as, you know, building a relationship with a person, or you know, they say a mule is like a horse, or a mule is like a 3-year-old person. So, you know, if it's a kid at church, or, you know, your nephew or niece that doesn't see you very often or something like that, and you have to kind of let them get used to you, and probably give them, you know, gifts or candy or something like that before they really like you, because they got no reason to take a chance on an adult that doesn't respect their boundaries. Or if you try to pick them up and they don't want to be picked up, then a lot of adults might still pick them up, you know, but most of us wouldn't. So you just know not to push the issue, that maybe start fiddling with the toy or something. They get curious and come over. So but I'm gonna spend some more time just letting her be relaxed with me in here, and that this is all things that are number one things. You know, this is the most important kind of thing. I'm just gonna walk up to, now see that movement, so I'm gonna stop right there because she showed discomfort. Then I'm gonna move up again, now even more discomfort. I see, ideally I would wait, I'll go ahead and back off, show her that I saw that she's uncomfortable, back off, and wait however long it takes for her to just come down. And you know, this is seemingly a long, boring video, but this is the good stuff. This is the most important thing. This is the thing that 99% of horse and mule trainers miss. This is the thing that most trainers bombard through, and you have holes in the training because the mule never trusts somebody. They'll end up being hard to get on or off of, hard to catch. All that stuff starts right here. You know, they don't want to work. They're buddy sour, they're barn sour. All that stuff starts right here. They need to be okay with being with you, and that starts right here.